For those of us in the ministry, this can be very helpful. When you're dragging, you're wore out, and you're lacking motivation. I don't want to say that you need to study. I don't want to say that. Because study can just be work. Now you need to study. But what you need, the ultimate end of study, is to think great thoughts about God. See, if I just say study, that's not enough. I got to say the end of study, the purpose of study. What do you need to motivate you? Great thoughts about God. When you have great thoughts about God, you see, that will pick you back up. Because sometimes I've studied wrongly, just technically. It left me tired. But all study, the technical aspect of it, ought to lead me to think great thoughts about God. Every text you look at, one of the things you need to ask yourself is, what is miraculous here? What is amazing here? What is supernatural? What is glorious? The thing is not just to understand the grammar of the text, but to be mesmerized by it. I mean, you look in there, the descriptions of the temple, so intricate. You go, why is all this in here? You go to the book of Leviticus, the one book that stops everybody from reading through the entire Bible. They take off and they're doing well, and then they get to Leviticus. It's because we're not understanding rightly. Ask yourself the question, why these intricate sacrifices? What does this tell me? It tells me much about the perfection of the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. See, look for the supernatural. Look for what's utterly astounding about this phrase. Now, we're going to finish up here with just a brief statement. God's glory through the gospel. Just briefly going to read, we have learned that God glorifies Himself by directing all things and working in all things, so that the fullness of all that He is might be revealed to His creation. For all the works of God in history, none so glorifies God as the cross of Jesus Christ and the salvation that was accomplished through it. Second coming lies in the shadow of the cross. The study of creation, as important as that is in this world of ours today, it lies in the shadow of the cross. Creation without the cross leads only to condemnation because of the fall. A second coming without the cross leads to judgment, with everyone being cast out as goats apart from the cross. Nothing so glorifies God. Nothing is more important than the cross. But notice that I didn't just put cross here, and the salvation that was accomplished through it. I think one of the things that disheartens me more than just about anything else in today's evangelical world is how mundane salvation seems to be. God saved you, and what? What else do I need to hear? That's enough. Come to Jesus, He'll save you, and A man rightly understands his condemned position. He won't need to hear anything and. He won't need anything more. You mean there's hope? You mean I don't have to go to hell? You mean I don't have to bear the wrath of a holy God throughout all of eternity? It's like someone winning $1 million and a piece of bubble gum. There's nothing to that. The bubblegum thing swallowed up in the $1 million thing. He has saved you. And will give you this. I don't need that. Just leave me alone. I'm happy now for eternity. I'm not going to hell. It's to teach people the greatness of this salvation of theirs. The greatness of their salvation. To get them rejoicing in this. But how are you going to do that? Remember what I told you? I could stand out on the street corner here in the city and hand out Bibles and many people wouldn't take them. There are places where I could go and hand those Bibles out. They would kiss my hands. The difference is the need. We are called to create or be an instrument of creating need through the preaching of the gospel, which means preaching also about the needs of men, about their sin. People are going to be overpowered by the wonder of salvation only to the degree that they're overpowered by the terrible reality of their own sin and the condemnation coming against them. It's amazing. In this one thing, the gospel, the fullness of God's attributes is revealed in the greatest possible way, making it possible that God be esteemed, worshipped, and enjoyed to the greatest possible degree by both angels and the redeemed. Yes, I worship God, when I look at the Discovery Channel and I see some creature that lives 2,500 feet below the surface of the sea and is amazing. And these fish that have little lights that come out in front of their head and big ugly teeth. There's things down there that it's unbelievable. And to see those things, to see these giant sea monsters, and that God plays with them. I mean, He does. It's absolutely amazing. But dying on a cross for my sin enables me to worship God in a way that a sea creature could never help me. Oh, that blessed cross. That blessed cross. Don't need sunsets anymore. Don't need pretty sunrises. Don't even need to see dew on brand new grass of spring. Roses I no longer need to smell. To scope out the greatness of the Brontosaurus, I no longer need a tape measure. None of that. It all just